Evening and welcome. This is Councillor Morris, or should I call myself Councillor Councillor Morris? I hate giving myself a title. This is Chrissy. I'm going to waffle for a minute just while people come on. Hopefully a few people will come on. I put myself up. I was fed up with the bad service we get from government, and I thought, you know what? The only way to make it better is to probably change it myself. So I got tired of oh, what's happening? I got tired of watching people do what I thought I could do better. So I thought about time I put my mouth where my trousers should be, or is it the other way around? And I thought, I'll have a go. I'm gonna see if I can do a better job than the other people that aren't doing a good enough job. So I put myself forward, and here I am, and I won. I am now a parish and a district councillor. Doesn't give me a lot of power, but it makes me have a little bit of influence, I hope. And I'm relatively inexperienced, but I think I've got a good heart, and I'm going to have a go at doing the best I can. So a lot of people are asking, you know, what am I going to do, how am I going to do it, and stuff like that. And the simple answer is that what I'm going to do is my best. I promise I'll be doing my best. I'll be doing what I think is best for everyone. I'll probably put the vulnerable people, the young, the elderly, the disabled, a little bit ahead of the able-bodied people, because obviously, you know, that'd make it a little bit fairer. So, you know, I'm going to do my best, guys. That's plain and simple. You know, I got tired of like whinging about it. I never believed in the political system, and I'm not sure I still do. But it's the system we've got, and we do need a system. So, you know, we've got to try and make the system we've got better, not just for the richer people and for the more influential people. They should have an easy enough life. You know, if you've got a few quid behind you, you'll probably find that you've got an easier life, rather than the people that are worried about what they're going to eat, you know, next week or even that day. And you know, so yeah, I want to try and make a difference, and I got tired of hearing myself complaining about it, and I thought about time I tried to do it. So I put myself up for election, and I won. And from here on in, I don't know what I'm going to do, but as I keep saying, I'm going to do my best. I'll do whatever my conscience tells me to do. I am part of no political party whatsoever. I never have been a part of any political party whatsoever. I just won't follow the party lines. I will do what my conscience tells me, what my morals tell me to do. I'm not going to get through all the questions. I mean, every time I do a go live, there are literally quite a few, you know, people watching, and I just can't get through all the questions and stuff like that. So if you've got a question, I'm hoping to do these quite regularly. Definitely after every council meeting. If I go to a council meeting and it's worth doing a live, just to let you guys know what's going on, I'll do it. I'll come on and I'll tell you what roughly's happened. I won't make it, but well, I'll try and make it as entertaining as possible. Text messages. I won't make it, you know, boring. Hopefully, I'll try and do it a little bit funny. I'll try and do it a little bit bright and breezy. I want to appeal. I want to get as many people involved in this as possible, because a lot of people have just switched off to it. They find it boring and stuff like that, and I think we should reconnect to it, because this is our lives after all. You know, the people in these council chambers are making decisions that affect our lives, and I'm one of them now, and I want to make sure that you guys, you know, let me know what you want, because, and even if sometimes it isn't what I think's best, I will listen to the people that elected me, because I now serve them. Before, I would always turn around and say, you know, nobody pays my wages, I can say what I want. But now, you know, there are people that, you know, will be, that I'm serving. So you get a say. So let me know, you know, let me know. The questions I've had, there are enough people on now. The questions I've had, so I've been asked if I've got a strategy. And it's quite simple. The strategy I've got is that every time I have to do something in my official capacity as a councillor, I want to do it with a clear conscience. I want to do it with integrity, so that every decision I've made, I can stand by. You know, I won't be bribed, I won't be bullied, I won't be blackmailed. I will honestly do whatever I think serves the most amount of people. And as I've said before, you know, I will give the vulnerable people, the elderly people, the young people, I'll give them a slight heads up, because us able-bodied folks and the folks that don't need as much help won't need as much help from, you know, from the people that serve them. So the strategy is quite simple. It's just to be really, really compassionate and you know, have loads of integrity. That's my strategy. That's the whole one. I'll make every decision with you know, best intentions. I've been asked about my view on the housing. Now, the housing is probably the biggest problem we've got in this little town as far as affecting everyone's daily lives. And I'm against the big house builders building what I call mini mansions. The £250,000 plus houses they're putting up are simply financially out of reach for almost everyone in this town. So they will be they're targeting commuters and stuff, people that live outside, which isn't a problem either, except we haven't got the roads for it and we haven't got the train station for it, and the doctors stopped taking on patients 2 years ago, and we haven't got, you know, employment for anyone else. And it's just, you know, we're building on greenbelt land. We really need, I mean, I know better than anyone that we need more houses, but we need affordable houses. If you've grown up in this town, you should be able to bring up your family in this town. I'm a big person for family, and I do believe that, you know, you should take care, your mum and dad take care of you when you're little, you should help take care of them when they're older. I believe that keeping families together is very important, and a lot of younger people that are getting jobs and stuff, they just simply can't afford to live in the towns they grew up in and the towns where their parents live. And that causes knock-on effect problems, such as, you know, who's going to take care of the grandkids, who's going to take care of the grandparents when the grandparents need taking care of. I think we need to live a little bit more. We need to live a little bit more family orientated. So, you know, the housing that we should be building should be more affordable, and I don't think it should be on these big estates. I don't think we should be giving the house building to these big, usually Tory donor house builders. What I would like to see is, you know, for instance, someone that's got a big garden that has decided that they don't want their big garden and they want to stick a bungalow up in it for their mum and dad, or they want to stick a small house up for their newly wedded son or daughter. You know, and what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see independent local builders building those houses, you know, on those small plots of land, and that way the population can gradually rise, not sort of, you know, 4,000 houses go up in a year or two. So housing, I know better than anyone that we need more houses, because there is a housing shortage and the housing market is ridiculously expensive as well. So more houses hopefully would mean that the rents would come down and people would be able to afford their homes. Because what I found is that if you haven't got a home or somewhere that, you know, you can call a home, everything else suffers. You know, you need that basis, you need that foundation to you know, be safe and feel secure and content and stuff, and, you know, having a happy life and happy people. That's pretty much what it's all about. So that's my housing stance. I haven't got a lot of battery, so I'm not going to be here long tonight, folks. I'm just going to get these answers done, and then every week or so, hopefully I'm going to be doing one of these and letting you know what's been happening in the council chambers and stuff, because a lot of people don't know. And I'll be answering your questions, and I'll be taking your questions to the council, because they can't shut me up now, because I'm a councillor. Before, you go to a council meeting, you get 2 minutes. Now you get me sitting there asking them loads of questions, and if anyone knows me, I'm not that easy to shut up, and I won't be, you know, I won't be quieted either. Right, the next one. This is Moxie J, by the way. He's asked me about crime. Well, the simple fact of the matter is, there's always going to be crime. There always has been crime. There always, you know, it's something that is part of life. But I think Malden and Heybridge, the area that I'm in, has got something silly like 3 to 4,000 houses being built in it, and each one of them houses will probably be £2 grand a year to the local authority, to the council. The council will make £2 grand a year on 3 or 4,000 houses, which annually, I think I worked it out, might be 8 million or something. It's been a long day, so don't quote me on figures, but anyone want to do it, 3 or 4,000 new houses, all paying £2 grand a year, that is a hell of a lot of money. And with that money, I want to ensure that we employ more coppers, because having more coppers out on the beat and taking care of the proper crimes out there is what brings crime down and helps people feel happier and makes communities feel safer and therefore happier. So all this council tax that they're going to be collecting needs to be directed to our frontline services, to us, back to us. I mean, it's our money they're taking. I don't want to see the police cut anymore, because we're getting more people, so we're going to need more people to be policed, if that makes sense. And if they keep on cutting the police numbers while the population rises, obviously I think crime's going to go up as well. So that's the crime one done. I've now got environment. Well, I think everyone needs to realise that we haven't got no planet B that we can go to. So environment is quite a big thing for me. That's why I want to keep the houses off of the green belt lands and stuff like that. You know, there are areas designated for employment that are never going to be used, that have got, you know, that have got quite good access and stuff like that. If we do need to build places, you know, maybe it shouldn't be on the green belt. We literally haven't got a planet B. You know, it's if you looked at the age of the planet on a clock, we've not even been here a minute, I don't think. You know, out of that full 12 hours, we've not been here a minute, and we've already used up so much of the planet's resources. And you know, it's we've got free energy coming from solar, from the sun. The sun's giving us free energy, and you know, we aren't harnessing that. Instead, we're vandalising the world by sort of, you know, fracking and stuff like that. So I'm a bit of an environmentalist. I do believe that we should look after our planet more, because we've got nowhere else to go. So, you know, we should try and get away from the fossil fuels and start using the renewables and stuff like that. I just want a nicer place. You know, it's the mark of a good person that you try and leave a place better than you found it when you entered it. So that's my environmental stance. Opportunities for youngsters. We need to involve our youngsters a little bit more, and we need to get them to realise that greed isn't God. My big one is that there are kids out there that just think that everything is about earning money and to succeed and to sort of, like, you know, to tread over people and get to the top and stuff. And I think we need to go back to a family values thing of including the kids and letting kids know that, you know, money isn't everything, and that I mean, you know, I've been aching to do a video on this one, and I will put it together, but the simple fact of the matter is that money doesn't make a lot of people happy, and our society tells everyone that they should be rich or famous, and the purely by definition, not everyone can be rich or can be famous. So they're being led into a dream that possibly they won't do. And I don't want to take anyone's aspirations away, but not everyone can be an astronaut. Not everyone's going to be a Hollywood movie star. Not everyone's going to be a stuntman. That's what I wanted to be when I was a kid. It's just, you know, we've got to let our future generations know that everyone's just got to play their part and try and be happy. And I think the only way that everyone in this world could be anywhere near happy is by falling in love. That's my advice. You know, if you can't make it to be your astronaut, or you can't make it to be your Hollywood movie star, it's all right, because out there's someone for you. And pretty much everyone I know, once they fall in love, they become content, and that'd be the one for me. You know, it'd be, guys, you know, find a job that keeps your love alive. You know, if you can you know, meet the right person and have a family with the right person, and that makes you happy. What job you do is immaterial. It's always nice to find a job that you love to do, because that way you never work another day in your life. But you know, we've got to sort of like let people know that the real world is that you probably will do something you're not too happy with, but you'll find your happiness doing something to keep your love and your family alive. So you know, it's about making people realise that they need to contribute. And I'm not saying contribute as in money, because the contribution isn't money. Contribute to society, contribute to, you know, to your family, contribute to the human race, because at the end of the day we're just one race. You know, it doesn't matter what you do. If a surgeon that was saving people's lives had to put his own bins out, cook his own food, service his own car, you know, he wouldn't be able to be the surgeon he is and do the work he does. We all play a part, and it's finding that part and being happy with that part. And you know, just having respect for even. I mean, I've met some young people, and they've taught me lessons, and they didn't even realise it. So it's just about having mutual respect, really, and you know, just trying to view people as your equals and not as, you know, someone that you've trod over. So that's the opportunities for youngsters, and I don't know what I can do for the opportunities for youngsters. I'm a boxing trainer by trade. I like to think that I inspire people with that, and sort of, you know, sort of make them fitter, make them better and stuff like that. And yeah, you know, I like helping people on their way up, educating and stuff like that. So but I'm open to suggestions, guys. Anyone got any suggestions on that one, please get in touch. Excuse me, I've got wind. Right, what am I going to do to support local businesses? Right, this is very close to my heart. I don't like giving money, and don't get me wrong, everyone sees me in Tesco's and stuff like that, and yeah, I have to shop in the supermarket every now and then. You know, I'm not made of money or anything. Sometimes I need the bargains, but if I can, I will always pop in and give an independent trader or businessman the money. I don't like to give these hoarders, because that is what they are, really. Yeah, if you give a big business a load of money, chances are they'll just sit on that money. They'll put it in their bank account. They'll just, you know, they don't actually use it. Whereas if you give an independent person some money, what they'll do is they'll probably put that money back in to the local community, and then that stimulates growth. So, and I'll be doing more on this. But my parish ward is Heybridge East. Sorry, Heybridge West, and there's two parish wards. There's Heybridge East, Heybridge West. But I'm representing Heybridge, and what I'd like to see is that where we can, all of the stuff that the council does in Heybridge is done with Heybridge residents and Heybridge businesses, not get people in from other places to do it. And it's not that I've got a problem with giving people work from other places. It's just that if we use the people that are in the community, I think it will benefit the community, and you know, it'll cut down on the travel. I mean, I spoke to some guys on a building site the other day, and they're working in a Malden building site, but they live in London, and it's 4 hours a day for them travel. Now those 4 hours should be spent playing with their kids and, you know, making love to their wives and stuff like that. You know, it's and also, you know, again, it's the traffic angle. I'd much rather see local Heybridge businessmen working on Heybridge sites that can walk or bicycle there, rather than having to travel for all these hours. And I know, on the flip side of that coin, I know local builders that have to travel to London. So, you know, it should be that we all have a little bit more time for the people we love and for the things we love, and that'll make us happier and richer, you know, and we'll be able to spend more money that way. Because if you're not spending horrendous monies on fuel getting to work, you might end up, I don't know, putting a few quid into a local business, and you know, helping your local community out. I think it's all, you know, we need to be a little bit more locally minded. Saying that, obviously, you've got to do what you've got to do, but you know, that's what I'd like to see. I've been asked about if anyone doesn't know, if you're just watching this and you don't know about what's going on in the town, we've got two main roads that lead to a little. It's called the Dengie Peninsula. So we've got two main roads, Munden Road and Fanbridge Road, and both of them, in the wisdom of whoever's done it, have been closed. So you've got one smaller road that goes for a nice little village that I used to go fishing at, and people are up in arms about it. And you know, you've got publicans, you know, people with pubs that have noticed the drop off. It's only been closed a week, and it's really badly affecting businesses, and because there's no through traffic now, and they've closed two of these major roads off and left one open, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think that someone was caught napping, because I can't believe that they have to close both of them at once. For instance, you know, whoever put the first request in to close a road for what, I mean, apparently they're both essential works, but whatever one put the first one in should have, the second one should have been told, no way, we cannot close the second one, because it will completely kill a lot of the local businesses. It will affect traffic, and it's just absolute craziness. And whoever dropped the ball on that one, they need, and this is what I would hope, that let's just call it incompetence. Yeah, if it's incompetence, something needs to be done about it. I mean, I'll be close to saying someone needs to lose their job about it, or seriously needs to be retrained, because people might lose businesses over this. Because like I keep saying, you know, the pubs, you close two major roads. I mean, it would never happen in the city of London. It never happened in a million years. You know, it'd be like, oh yeah, well, a housing firm and the highways agency said that both these roads needed to be closed, and they just happened to do it at the same time. Sorry, City of London, but you know, you're going to be choked down to a bloody cycle path to get in and out. You know, so whoever dropped the ball on that one, it should be identified. They need to tell us why it happened. We need, you know, don't treat us like mushrooms. You know, the mushroom thing is feed you on shit and keep you in the dark. You need to be a little bit transparent about what has happened with these two road closures. Who got their request in first, and you know, what one is the most important one to do, what one actually is more important. As I understand it, one of them is so that the housing builders can make sure that they can get people to move in on the correct date. Well, I'm sorry, but you know, people losing their businesses and possibly losing their houses isn't as important as people moving into the new houses. You know, that's a simple one. I mean, both might be important to those people, but you know, it shouldn't have had such a negative effect on folks. So that's the road closures one. That's what I personally think about that one, and I'll be asking those questions when I get into council. I'll be asking, how did this happen? And if I don't get a satisfactory answer, I'll let you know, and then we can all start asking. Victoria has asked me my 3 main priorities as a councillor. Right, so I've got more than 3. I've got quite a few. I've just written a few down. So I've already spoke about the housing one. The housing one I think is the most important, because if we sort the housing one out, we'll sort out the traffic problems that we've now got. If we sort the housing one out, we'll hopefully sort out the doctors one that we've got, which is another one. So housing would be the first thing that I sort out. As I said before, I'd want to stop the massive housing builders, you know, the big Tory donors and stuff like that. I'd want to stop them building mini mansions, because we can't afford them in this town. And we've not got the infrastructure to deal with the commuters that will be coming in, you know, and that's not me being unfair on the commuters that are coming in, because when they're taking sort of like, you know, 5 hours to get backwards and forwards to the city, you know, it's for their good as well. Hopefully they'll research exactly what the traffic's like here. I personally have sat in traffic a few times now for minimum half an hour and maximum an hour to travel 3 miles. Usually I would have walked it, I would have jogged it, I would have bought a push bike or something like that, but it's you know, when you've got school run and you've got younger children and stuff like that, you can't always do that. you can't always walk them in, you can't always bike them in if it's raining and stuff like that. You know, there's a massive hill in the middle as well, which you know, would knacker out most people. I used to use it as a punishment for my boxers when I was near there. So, you know, sorting the housing out would be the big one. I'd want to. I know we need housing. I know that better than most people. I will look more favourably on people building cheaper homes, not cheaper as in shittier. I mean cheaper as in more affordable homes, on small building plots. You know, that sort of like aren't on green land, and that are where people use local tradesmen as well. You know, if you've got a local, I'd much rather a Haybridge building firm put up a small house, masonette, bungalow, something like that, rather than these big housing builders. You know, I can't even think of Wimpy's and Persimmons and stuff like that. They've got enough money, yeah? Let's give the money out to the independent people, and let's have the people that have got the large gardens, you know, stick a bungalow at the back and stuff like that. That's I think that's the way out of it, and it won't have such an impact. I mean, you know, you won't have like 1,000 4-bedroom houses being built. You won't have all those people needing doctors, so the doctors can slowly implement, you know, people into their doctors list. Because for 2 years, I think it is now, the doctors ain't been able to take on a patient, or you've got to fight tooth and nail to get taken on. And they're telling people to go half an hour out of the way to get a doctor and stuff. And it's, again, that's a false economy, because people are waiting for an hour around here to get through to a doctor's appointment. And some ain't even getting one, and some are getting one far too far in the future. And it's a false economy, because if you can't see your doctor and cut the head off of something that's bothering you, you're far more liable to end up, you know, in a hospital, which will cost a lot more. You know, if the doctors can sort of like get to see someone and prevent someone from, you know, having a proper turn, it's going to cost everyone less. So it's a false economy not letting people see the doctors, you know. And by the way, I'm not having a pop at the doctors. I'm not having a pop at the doctors' receptionists. What I'm saying is we're overwhelmed, and when you're overwhelmed, you get ratty. I know I do. So we need to get another doctor's surgery in this town. We've got 2 doctor's surgeries and both of them haven't been taking patients on for a couple of years, we need another doctor's. That is something that I'll push for. I did notice that on the Tory leaflets they were saying that they were going to push for that too. Well, they've been in power for decades and they ain't done it. So, you know, that's hopefully something that we're all going to be able to do. And I ain't taking no for an answer on that one. And I hope that none of my other independents will. And hopefully this will be one of the things where all us independents will be able to get together and say to the rest of the council, because what I think a lot of people don't realise is that just because we're in doesn't mean we can do stuff. There are 31 councillors now, and I think that the Conservatives have got 16 and we've got 15, something like that. We are just out of the majority. So if the Conservatives all stick together and go, no, that ain't happening, and we stick together and say, yes, we want it to happen, we still won't be able to get it to happen. Now, I'm hoping that these Conservatives, what with the pressure that we're going to put on them, and with hopefully things like me telling you guys why you ain't getting the doctor's surgery, hopefully we'll get that doctor's surgery. We'll get to a couple of them and they'll go, you know what, yeah, we are going to find the money in the budget. I mean, that's another thing. We're not getting there, and I think we can do it anyway. I'm going to be asking them how much they've got in the coffers. You know, what's in the coffers, because if they're sitting on a few quid, I want them to spend that few quid, you know, because it's not their money. They're treating it like it's their money. It's our money. Yeah, they're taking our money and dishing it out. And, you know, we need a doctor's surgery. I think that is something that 99% of everyone agrees. And that's what I want to get. So we've got the doctors, we've got the transport, we've got the housing. Right, here's one, and this is one, you know, because there's plenty of stuff that we need to do, and this one is going to be something that I want to do as a legacy for Haybridge. Now, if you think of Malden in Essex, I mean, anyone that doesn't live here, if you tap in Malden, Essex and put landmark, you'll see a geezer called Brifnoth that got his head chopped off fighting Vikings. Lovely little story, a little bit Anyway, but yeah, we've got a statue of him holding a sword aloft down at what we call Promenade Park, which is a lovely little park. And that is an iconic thing from Malden. Malden is known for the Battle of Malden, you know, and just like down the road, there's a place called Tiptree, and Tiptree is known for its jam, you know. So you've got the jam factory and stuff like that, and you know, Tiptree, for instance, would have a load of strawberries on their postcard. Malden would, for instance, have Brifnoff. We've got an old church that you can see from the riverside, and that again, you know, if you showed that to anyone in Essex, they'd probably go, "Oh, that's Malden." And they're what I call picture postcard images. Well, Heybridge hasn't got anything like that. And what I'd like to do, and this isn't sort of like one of my massive things, but it's just something that I think it needs to be done. And I don't want to do it with public money. Don't ever think that I want to throw money at a sculpture or anything when there's people out there starving, because I don't. What I would consider doing is I would consider getting local businesses to chuck some money in and starting to GoFundMe, so that the poor people aren't forced to pay for it, because they've got more important things to do, like put food in their kids' bellies. Yeah, so I don't want to use public money for it, but I would like to make some sort of statue or landmark or iconic image, and I would like it to be done. I've already approached a couple of the local schools and asked them if they would consider, getting the kids to sort of like, you know, design and then help with it. And all local people, not you know, get local sculptors and artists to help with it, the local pupils to help with it, so everyone feels involved with it. So it brings the community together a bit, and make a I've got an idea of maybe a living statue, something that kids can crawl all over safely, and you know, you can go up and touch. And maybe something that is a photo opportunity, so that, you know, when people visit the area, they can get their photograph with it, and people will look at it and go, "Wow, that's a really good picture of you standing there with a whatever," you know, and it'll get Heybridge on the map a little bit more, because we've got some beautiful places out here, and we just haven't got enough tourism here. The Tories are closing all the tourism information offices as well, which is crazy considering that, you know, the beautiful place that Malden is and Heybridge is. You know, we've got Beeley Falls, you know, we've got the Promenade Park. They're all really nice places, you know. We've got little museums and stuff like that. We need to sort of like give Heybridge some sort of identity, some sort of community spirit, some little icon sort of thing, you know, modern bit of art or something. I really don't know. I mean, I'm quite creative, but I'm not artistically creative. So that's something I'd like to do. I'd like to give Heybridge something that they can identify with, something that Heybridge could put on a postcard, if that makes sense. You know, something that doesn't cost everyone a lot of money, something that all the local businesses can put in, and anyone that's got a few quid, you know, we could do a GoFundMe. I just, you know, I think it would be nice. I think it's just something that, you know, us as a community could put together. Oh God, what else now? Yeah, the local independent businesses. I want to push the local independent businesses as well. You know, the big corporations and stuff, they hoard too much money. So pushing local independent businesses would be great, and that's for everywhere as well. You know, I'd want the Maldeners to use the Malden businesses, the Heybridge people to use the Heybridge businesses. Just keep it local a little bit more, you know, and give it to people that are independent, that, you know, aren't big corporate you know, businesses that hoard money. Something that I would like to do, and this is me being a little bit selfish, well, not selfish, but this is me being a little bit introvert with my thinking. You might or might not know, I do a lot of work with bailiffs, and I would like to implement, obviously in my local area and then hopefully nationwide, a system where if a council believes that it's got to use a bailiff, they must, before they instruct that bailiff, they must do a vulnerability check on the people that they're going to be sending the bailiff to. Instant. So before, you know, if you've got someone that owes money, and I ain't no favour, you know, I'm not a fan of council tax and stuff like that. you know, not when it comes to the vulnerable people out there, because there are people out there that are really struggling. And, you know, I know a few people that have lost their homes because they've paid council tax. And the sad thing is, if you ain't got a home, you can't pay council tax. And they've paid council tax when they should have been paying their rent. They've lost their homes, which again is another false economy. But you know, this is all for another time. But because I regularly deal with vulnerable people that can't pay their council tax, that shouldn't have had bailiffs go to their house, and it can destroy them. It really can. You know, nationally, it's caused some deaths. Just the whole stress level of it. You know, I mean, I went round to see an old girl not too long ago, and I'm banging on her door, saying, "Hello, it's Chrissy. I've come to help you." You know, and she thought I was the bailiff. You know, she's like, "Oh, sorry. You know, I heard the banging and I didn't know who it was, and I thought it was the bloody bailiff coming round." And I'm like, "No, love, you know, I sort of guessed the way you spoke on the phone that your ear holes weren't too brilliant anymore." And she's like, "Oh no, they're not." But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I'd like to, you know, I want to bring forward something that makes sure that if a council has got to send, I mean, I don't know bailiffs going out to anyone, because at the end of the day, you know, there's better ways to do everything rather than send goons out. I understand that there are people out there that do need goons to go around and get their debts. You know, I know that there are arseholes that sort of, you know, knock people professionally for a living, and that is what the bailiff should be for. Yeah, I'm not saying we don't need them. I'm saying they shouldn't be used on people that are scared and that are vulnerable. And I'd like to come up with some sort of system, if I can, that will prevent bailiffs being sent out to vulnerable people. So someone, you know, one of the council workers would have to go and visit the person first, and speak to the person, get as much detail on them as possible, and actually sign off and say, "This person, I believe, can and should have a bailiff round there," and they sign their name to that, and take a bit of responsibility for sending any bailiffs out and round there. And you know, guys, it's like my other bugbear is the parking tickets one. I don't believe that people should be fined £100 for overstaying 25 minutes in a car park that they actually own, because the councils don't own the car parks, they run them for us. So that's our land. Now, I understand that that land needs to be maintained. I'm not even complaining about paying for some parking, but not these ridiculously high fees. And then for them to send out someone that you pay the wages for, you know, they send a parking warden out. You've paid the parking warden's wages to give you £100 or whatever the ticket is, because you've overstayed for 25 minutes. That I am against. But we do need traffic wardens to give people tickets that park like mugs. That, you know, any idiot that, for instance, parks on blocks the pavement, yeah, and makes children and old people walk into the road. For instance, I had one the other month. They need a ticket, and I support ticketing that person. Someone that, you know, parks ridiculously, takes up 2 bays, they need a ticket, yeah. But people, good genuine people that, you know, didn't have to change for the machine, good genuine people that, you know, have overstayed by 25 minutes, whatever. You know, there's got to be a little bit of discretion in everything. So yeah, I'm trying to get a proper check done on whether or not the person they're sending bailiffs to, whether or not they're vulnerable. That's something I want, and I'd like to take that nationwide as well. Guys, I've got about 3% battery. I can't wait. I'm going to get into the council meetings, and anything that I think's wrong, I'm going to stick my nose into. Anything that I think you guys need to know about, I'm going to tell you. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get more people involved to hold these councils to account. Yeah, I would like to be a bridge, because what I've noticed is if you go to a council meeting, luckily I don't give a shit about pretty much anyone. My children, you know what I mean, the people that love me, I obviously care about, but I don't actually care what many people think of me, because at the end of the day, I actually like myself. And I would like to be a bridge between the stuffy old shirt and tie brigade that seem to be in the council and the people out there that are having it hard, that the stuffy old shirt and tie brigade are serving. because I think there's such a gap in between that. And I deal with everyday people, poor people, vulnerable people, and average people all day and every day. And I am one of those people. You know, I'm not having it off large. I just like to think that I can help and make a difference, and I can represent the poorer people to the richer people, the people that are in power, and actually bring them both together. Because that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to make the people out there that have got no faith in politics have some faith in politics, because by ignoring it, you're just letting them perpetuate what they're doing. So hold them to account a little bit. Help me hold them to account by getting involved. You know, for so long, I mean, you know, we only won the vote on Thursday night, and I've seen people already going, oh, they're only going to do the same. Well, we've not even been in 2 minutes, you know. Give us a chance and give us some help. That's the most important thing. And if you think you can do better, get involved. Yeah, get involved, because it's our apathy that is going to be, you know, the undoing of it. Right. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be doing these after every meeting, so keep an eye out. And if you've got any questions, please understand that I'm overwhelmed. You know, I'm still doing everything I was doing, and I've now taken on this. You know, so please understand I'm overwhelmed. But whenever you see me, pop a question up, and I'm hoping to do these every time I need to, because I'm going to let you know what's going on. I'm going to tell you, and you know, they might not like me for it. I think there's already some pants being filled, but it's time that, you know, we got involved a little bit more, because whinging about it is good, but helping change it is going to be the best. So guys, thank you ever so much for tuning in. Get in touch with me. Give me your questions, give me your ideas. Ideas is what we need, you know, we need ideas, and I'll take them into these council chambers, and I will put them straight, and start coming to the council meetings so that you can see what's going on, so you can have your questions, so you can see me say, you know, what I think of them and stuff like that. And just remember, guys, yeah, I mean, the plain and simple one is, when they say something that I don't think is right, I ain't voting for it. When they say something that I think is going to help the majority of the people and is going to be good for the people, I'm putting my hand up. I'll be like, yeah, I'll vote for that. And we've just got ourselves to blame, really. You know, we need to get more involved. I'm going to stop waffling. Thanks ever so much. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care, folks. Night, night.